Hey everybody, so we're getting ready to talk about the younger formative years of my life. Just going to go over some highlights. Because usually when you go through ages 5 through 10, it's not a whole lot of big stuff. Nothing really happens a lot. Um, it's your formative years as a kid, but not the actual formative years of what you take into life with you. So, it's probably a really short video. I know that I want to go ahead and kind of get this out of the way, so that way I can kind of move forward with wanting to dive deep into questions and talk about life with you guys. That's something that that's what I want to start this vlog or this video thing for, so that way you can come to me with your questions and how you feel about life and how you think of the world. That's kind of what the whole point of this is. And so, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and kind of dive in a little bit, because the next few sets of these are going to be really emotional. They're going to be very up, very down, and I would like to say that a lot of it has a good ending to them before the next stages happen, but all of this needs to be taken from one person's point of view. It's my point of view, but this is the way I look at life. This is the way that I feel my hand has been dealt to me. This is a personal thing that, not everything I do has to be said or done in front of other people, especially the ones at home. And we'll get a little more into that later, but, if I bring something up, it's not out of spite, it's not out of anger, it's not out of aggression or a dislike or distrust or anything like that. From here on out, I want you to know that. At the time, it probably would have been. And if you asked me what my thoughts or opinions were, yeah, no. Lots of anger, lots of issues. But nothing that I've held on to. So, that being said, as a 5-year-old, I was pretty normal. Kindergarten, first grade, did really well in school. I also was excellent at hide and seek, apparently. I did not think that I was going to cause as much chaos as a child as I did. Would I take it back? No. Maybe. I don't know. The main reason being, as a kid with a very active imagination, I always was doing things on my own. So I'm reading, big, thick chapter books like The Secret Garden by myself. And, those were things I found enjoyable to me. I've always been one that either hung out with adults and was, surrounded by their conversation, or I was off by myself, being a good kid, usually. Until some things happened. And my neighbors will remember this, the ones that live within, like, the immediate section of my neighborhood. So, as a 5-year-old, you're still pretty small, pretty able to fit in most small spaces. And we had one of those brown wicker, like, stand-up storage baskets for laundry that, unless you open the lid, you didn't know what was in there. Like, you had to actually, look in it. And so, as a kid, I'm mentally thinking my dad and I are playing hide and seek. And I probably did say something, but of course, unless you actually get somebody's attention, they don't know. So, I've officially been sitting in a wicker basket for a little over 3 hours. Yes, I heard my dad hollering and yelling for me. Yes, I intentionally did not answer him because I was winning the game of hide and seek. I didn't care what was going to happen. And so after probably 2 or 3 hours, I climb out of the basket, and I'm like, okay, well, everybody stopped looking for me. I guess I won. And I look out, and I hear people, and I hear radio chatter. I'm like, what's going on? I go to look out our front window, and there are police cars lined up and down the front of the house. I go running towards the back door, my grandmother's house, where I was staying or going in between, and there are police cars all up and down the side of this road. I'm like, oh, I wonder what happened. And then a little while later, so probably within 15 minutes, I say a little while. A little bit later, my dad comes in and throws the basket top open, and I thought it was going to drag me up by my hair. He was mad. Cops go away, everything's fine. Brittany gets her butt cut because, that's not a good thing to do. Didn't learn my lesson. Because I would do the same thing to my aunt. Anybody who has children is very fully aware, hey, look, a clothes rack that you can go hide in. Because we're playing hide and seek. Hey, look, you can go hide here. You can do this. I really, really was good at that. My aunt had locked down Northwoods Mall because I was good at it. Yep. Anyhow, I know my dad liked to paint. Bob Ross was a huge, huge thing then. And so my dad, being the skilled painter he was, I mean, he could draw and paint and do pretty much anything with a paintbrush or a pencil that you can imagine. He was great. Maybe in a later video I'll pull some of that out and let you guys look at it. It's crazy though, because, as a kid you want to copy your parents. You want to do the things that they do. You want to be like them. And so one day my dad was gone that afternoon. I don't know what was going on. And I knew I got painting. Now mind you, this was a beautiful, evening, very dusk, dark picture of woods, and it was just so pretty. Pretty wanted to add a splash of color. So I finger painted all along the bottom because that was all I could reach, more than likely. Bright yellow. Bright yellow, I don't want to go full Easter yellow, but probably chick yellow, baby chick yellow, bright. Yep, Brittany got her butt cut for that one too. So Brittany discovers that there are neighbors across the street to avoid trouble. And so she knows who she is, if she's even watching this. She really was one of the best things that could have happened to me in that time. She was somebody that just made me feel okay when I wasn't sure what I was supposed to feel. She was a little girl who had Barbies, who would very soon have siblings, who, had her home issues too. Now, I'm not discrediting that I had two little boy neighbors, well, one before he had a brother, that I had them next door too, but, it's your first best girlfriend. And, yeah, we fought, life. Life was what it was. As little girls, you fight, you scream, my Barbies, my this, my that. It was what it was. And, if she is watching this, I want you to know that I love you. And that you really have been the closest friend I've had. You've seen it all, you've been there for it all, and you know how the story goes. And you still love me for it. And you still love my crazy. And my moments that I wasn't 100% sure that life was even going to be what it was. You stepped out above and beyond what you should have for a lot of things in my life. And, words only go so far, and I hope that my actions towards you, your family, your now children. I hope that I can be as good of an influence and a help with them as you've been for me. Because that being said, there's a lot of bad that was involved in these 5 years too. Things that as a child you don't understand. Things that when push comes to shove, you always give in because you're a child. And especially as a Southern child, you're raised to suck it up and shut up or face consequences. Problem is, when you have a dad who has a disease that you don't know anything about, that nobody knows anything about, that hasn't really ever been a thing yet, you don't know how to respond to that. You don't understand why you're being called all the names in the book, every name in the book, for no reason, sometimes. You exceed in academics because you want to impress those people in your life who seem to be upset with you, who seem to find fault with everything. And then things happen and you don't understand why. I'm going to recall one time that I was about 9 and we had the pots that still, you still have the glass lids and all. And my dad couldn't find it. And of course, I'm in my room playing a board game by myself or doing something. And when you hear screaming coming from the kitchen for you to get out here to come talk about what happened and why you broke a glass lid and why I'm trying to cover it up and things like that, and then you come out and you don't understand, you're questioning what's going on and why you're being accused of something that you didn't do, and you didn't do, because why would you mess with anything in the kitchen other than the food? Midnight snacks of ketchup sandwiches were great, but you didn't mess with cookware. Yeah, you had to wash the dishes, but that wasn't anything that you would have broken that would not have gotten unnoticed. As a child, when you're on your hands and knees emptying out this cabinet, crying and frustrated because now you can't find this lid and you don't know what happened to it. All you know is that this backlash that's coming is awful. And then a sharp pain hits you because you've never been physically abused up until this point. You don't know how to react. All you can do is just cry and just try to explain that you don't know, that you don't know, that you don't know, and there's nothing else you can say because there's no answer to that question. But then a little while later, a knock and an apology comes because they found it. It was just in the wrong place. Nothing was broken. There was no signs that I had been hurt. I never said anything. A lot of times when kids go to school, we don't think to ask them or look them in the eyes and be like, hey, you look troubled. Or are you okay? And 9 times out of 10, if you're anything like me, yeah, fine. Because even at that age, you understand that you probably should say something, but you won't. Because a kid loves their parent. They don't want to see them get in trouble. They don't want to see them put into a situation that they don't understand. Because who wants to have their life changed all because somebody said something. And we'll see a lot of this in the next chapter. It's unfortunate, but it's a part of it. And if anybody does have mental illness or knows somebody who has mental illness, please be honest. All I can ask, please be honest and seek help and find that outlet. Help that person find that outlet if it's not you. It's not safe. It's not good. I mean, we see stories all the time about children who have lost their lives because somebody didn't speak up, because they didn't think it was abuse. They didn't think that saying something to somebody was going to affect their mental state as bad. But it will. I'm living proof that it will. I'm living proof that as I breathe, I always am now wondering, if something were to get said, what have I done wrong? That's the mentality of somebody who's abused as a child. Do I need to apologize? Where have I messed up? Apologize anyway. Try to correct the mistake. Get even more emotionally upset because you're trying to figure out how you made the mistake. And then clamming up about it because you don't want the repercussions of your actions to be known. Ooh. It's okay. I promise you, it's okay. They're going to be mad. They're going to be upset. It's okay because the medicines do work. Not all of them, not all the time, and especially during that first 6 months to a year, it's going to be rough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be awful trying to navigate life with this new person who's having to understand that they don't have to use their emotions in everything. Because I have to do it. Now, I don't have the disease that my dad had, but I have anxiety and depression because I went through something like this. And it's taken me a long time to realize I don't have to live in my emotions all the time. Because when you live in certain emotions, it overwhelms you. It hurts you. It damages everything that God has put into you to make you better, to make you stronger, to build you to be this phenomenal person that nobody can take away, that your actions can't take away, that your thought process, that nothing is worse than just not having a relationship with somebody who loves you anyway. That probably made no sense. Anyway. Just reach out. If you can't trust your family members, or if you're having a hard time because you are underage, or somebody who knows somebody who's going through this, preteen, teenager, and isn't comfortable with anybody within their immediate circle, reach out to somebody at your school, a parent, another parent that you can trust, somebody that only has your best interest in mind. And then go from there, because they want to love you. They want to help you. You were here for a purpose. And you will make it. Okay? So I'm going to wrap up now. I'm actually longer than my last video, but there was a lot that needed to get said. And again, from here on out, the next ones are probably going to be pushing 30 minutes. But there's a lot of details. A lot of good, a lot of bad. It's harder to do 5 years for the next video, so I'm probably going to be 10 to 13 for this next one. And then probably going to do just 13 to 18. That's my high school years, and those are pretty quick and to the point anyway. It's high school. We all know that one. But I love you guys. Jesus loves you. If you don't have a good home church, look for one. Even if you don't go regularly, just show up so that way you can be replenished when you feel like you're drained. I learned a good lesson over the weekend that after you've given your all, your best, your everything, and you feel like you have nothing else left to give, when you've hit that wall, when you've run out, that's when you'll see Jesus come running in. That's when you'll see miracles that you didn't think were going to happen. That's where you have to be like, okay, I'm going to take a deep breath and just trust. And it's hard to trust. It's very hard to trust. But life can be so much easier when you know that the decisions you have to make were already preordained and pre-planned, and that your life is already known. And no, it's not easy to make these choices. It's not easy to make these decisions. It's not easy to ask for help when you are at your lowest points. But please do. Because somebody loves you. I love you, and I probably don't even know you. But that's what I want to do, is to be there. I want to be a listening ear, a guide, a help when you feel like there is none. Shoulder to cry on. Shoulder to cry with. I'm good at that one. So when I get through these, probably this week, and we'll go from there, because I'm really excited. We're doing spiritual gifts in church, and I got a lot of good stuff out of that. We're doing a whole book series, and I kind of did a test on one, and I'm excited to share my results with you guys. And I want to be able to talk about this stuff with you guys and see what you think. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, maybe you have ideas about what I should do with my gifts or where I could go with my gifts. So you guys have a great week. Expect to see these probably pop up the rest of this week. So it's only 2 more videos that are going to be my life's interesting days. And we're going to go from there. So I love you. Y'all have a good one.